proposal that could radically change storm chasing in Oklahoma. The fascination of it only growing with the movies Twister and Twisters.
Yeah, but now a state lawmaker wants to make it to where storm chasers would be required to get a special license. This means something that once free to do could now potentially cost hundreds of dollars.
News 4's Tanner DeLeon spoke with the bill's author about why he's pushing for this to become reality.
Senator Mark Mann says safety is the focal point behind this bill, aiming to get amateurs off the roads and allow professional storm chasers to act as emergency responders.
There's no mechanism for storm chasers to act as a first responder.
Democratic Senator Mark Mann is pushing a proposed law which would require storm chasers to obtain a special license.
A storm chaser would either have to be employed or a part of a college or university that has a meteorological program with a meteorologist, or a FCC licensed station that has a meteorologist on staff.
From there, they would need a recommendation from a meteorologist, have to submit a letter, and pay a $500 fee.
At that point, they would be able to operate as long as there was a qualified event within 150 miles of that radius. They would be able to move almost like an emergency vehicle.
Senator Mann says this would allow storm chasers to act and operate like a first responder during a significant weather event.
It really makes sense to be able to license storm chasers so that they can move from one area of the state to the next in a quick fashion with emergency lights so that they can begin providing feedback on that next storm.
Wow, this is a violent tornado.
For decades, News 4 and the Forewarned Storm Team have brought you life-saving storm coverage.
It is a total wedge on the ground right now.
Our storm trackers are a big component to that.
How would you enforce this type of bill if it were to become law?
I mean, that would obviously be up to local law enforcement and however they see fit to enforce that.
Which Chief Meteorologist Mike Morgan says would likely be difficult to do in the middle of a tornado or other weather event. There are also questions over whether this bill aims to get amateur chasers off the road.
I think certainly in terms of higher institutions of education, especially right here in Oklahoma, these folks already know exactly what they're doing, and they have for 50-plus years.
The bill comes less than a year after the release of the movie Twisters, which put a glorified spotlight on storm chasing and may help draw even more chasers to Oklahoma. I asked Senator Mann if there was any correlation.
No, I mean, that had nothing to do with it.
He adds the bill looks to empower storm chasers.
Media storm chasing has been around, every bit of it, since the late 1970s and early 1980s. So it's really not a new topic. I think everything in this bill is subject to a lot of debate and a lot of fine-tuning.
Now, if this bill were to become law, a storm chaser was caught without a license, they could be facing a fine of up to $500.